From the heart of the Duke City, it's time for a great afternoon of sports entertainment talk. Get ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports.
What am I, three? Why am I three?
Two men on.
Here we go.
With your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow.
That's me.
With producer Isaiah Johnson.
That's him.
On 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
It's Tuesday, Albuquerque. You know what that means? That means the University of New Mexico takes the safety and well-being of all of our students very seriously. We are aware of an alleged incident involving members of our men's basketball team and are carefully reviewing and assessing all the facts. We are following all appropriate protocols and procedures in addressing the situation and are committed to addressing any misconduct appropriately due to federal student privacy laws, specifically the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA. We cannot disclose specific details or comment further in individual student matters.
So I guess these guys don't have any name, image, likeness money, so I guess they're still amateurs and you can't release their names. Then.
I guess.
Is that what we're talking about here?
Welcome to the job, Lovo.
Yeah. Oh, first week on the job.
We're going to fist fight.
First week on the job.
First week. And I guess it happened.
Welcome to Burke Way.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Got a quick caller. A friend of the show, John, wants to talk some basketball.
Does he?
Oh, my goodness. Are we talking about?
Okay.
Do we
need to grease it up? Or is he
talking about? Does he want to talk about these Lobos players throwing their apple hands at each other?
And I'm sure he called before the delay made it to on air. So this just it had to.
All right, friend of the show, John, welcome to the program. I'm going to assume you weren't a steward or stewardess on this flight.
I wasn't a stewardess. I personally have too short of a skirt to make that possible.
Ooh, that's hot.
Answer.
Did you get a referral? Did you have to go to detention for your short skirt?
I did.
Just tell me you have long
I was
arms.
in detention, and I was tardy for it, so I had to do detention on my detention.
Oh, bummer.
Welcome to the program, brother. What's going on?
All right. So I'm a little hot under the collar. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Let's go.
And we talk sports, and I'm glad you guys talk sports. It's a critical fabric of our community. But let me tell you what. So there's 6 high schools tonight which are not going to be playing basketball games because a city of over 1 million people can't get enough people to ref games at the high school level.
Oh, no, that's a bummer.
Oh, no.
Oh, high school.
And so, I mean, it's great talking about the NBA. It's great talking about the NFL. It's great talking about college and the rankings. But at the end of the day, if we want New Mexicans to be on those teams and if we want those teams to have some relevance to our city and our community, we need to support these sports, and we need to do it by volunteering. And you don't have to volunteer because these guys who ref these games get paid plenty of money. I've coached for numerous years and, been contributing along the way, but people have got to get off their ass and they need to be a part of the fabric of our community. And, on the same day that I get that, I read a paper article where, 2 kids are killed by their parents because they're just so high and the kids are, got drugs in their system. I got to tell you, I would love it if you guys could somehow get the mayor on and the city councilors and people like that. Ask them some tough questions like, what are you guys doing to support youth? Because clearly it's not happening.
Yeah, I'm making a note right here. This is a good call, John. We're not overly prepared for it.
Yeah.
But this is a good call. And if you give me one day to find ammunition on it, I can meet this call. I can do that.
A little KKO.
And that's why I called you guys, because I knew you could do that. And I know it's a last-minute call, but it had to be said, and it can't wait. And this stuff needs to be discussed a little bit more in the sports world, because at the end of the day, there's not going to be any fans in the seats, and there's not going to be any kids making $1 million contracts, and there's nobody getting to live a lifelong dream and making a last-second shot if we don't do these little things.
Yeah, John, I think it's even more basic than that. Like, we have a crime problem in Albuquerque. We have a homeless problem in Albuquerque. And sports ties these young student athletes to their education, keeps them showing up to school, keeps them honest. And if they don't have that, then what's the next step for them? Then we're talking about them being released in the community, doing whatever they want, making some bad decisions, which, hey, I'm no stranger to doing that. When I was in my late teens and early 20s, I got a laundry list of bad decisions. And one of the things that kept me grounded, that kept me showing up and keeping my stuff together was playing sports. So if they don't have that outlet for their time and their effort, then yeah, I agree. This is a huge deal.
On the record, I just sent a text to Adrian Ortega, who runs athletics for APS, and I just sent a text to Tim Keller, who's the mayor. So let's see who gets back to us.
Yeah, I want these guys to, they talk a big game, but at the end of the day, results are results.
Well, for sure.
And
Number one, thanks for putting this on this on our radar, because we had no idea.
But can they
minutes ago?
Can they make the shot?
Yeah, you guys were over at the top of each other a little bit there, but this is a good call, and it's now something we're gonna work with a little bit. I don't have jokes prepared for it because I don't know how funny it's gonna end up being.
Sure.
But yeah, let's look to make sure we dive into it throughout at least the week, because I didn't know about cancellations, and I just looked I'm like Albuquerque High School Basketball Referee Association. I'm looking up all these things, and I need any sort of news, anything. I don't have it on me. You know what I mean? So I'm learning. So now that I'm knowing, I will do a little bit more. John, good call, brother. Like that.
You bet, man. Have a great day, guys.
Yep. All right, texter sent. We'll see what happens.
How's that for?
Yeah, who knew? Well, it's and obviously we have a little bit of basketball jokes, so we're going to go into that too. But that was my job in junior college. I think I don't know if we talked about this on air, but this was how I got my education. I was a patched official in the state of Illinois.
Yeah,
I refereed high school and junior high school and mostly tournament AAU basketball for years, making whatever it was, $50 a pop. I don't know what games were paying at the time. I don't really remember. But that's how I made all my cash, was after I broke my leg.
Sure. I
could still hobble up and down the court and call the game. And I made a ton of money doing it. It was a cool job for a kid. Also, let's be really fair, I was 6.5 foot tall then too, and no parents in stands ever yelled at me, not one time.
Yeah, you didn't get a lot of confrontation that you see after basketball and football games with these awful sports parents. They're not going to mess with the 6.5 foot tall guy.
I would. This was me. Travel. I don't know. Also, I would swallow. I was a big swallow the whistle guy. Yeah, let them play.
Let them play.
Yeah,
let them play. Just the egregious violations.
If you did something on purpose, you weren't my guy. Or if you did something that caused a turnover. If you did a foul that caused a turnover, then okay, we got to call. We got to call something here. But yeah, that was my thing. That was a big part of my. And also, I'm super good at de-escalation. I think because of that. I don't know if that's true, but that's an association.
As I'm sitting here in my mind, that's what I'm thinking of. And I'm like, okay, so I'm imagining somebody coming up to you super upset and irate. And what's the fine line between de-escalation and just tossing?
It's like that. Here's what I say. I say, tell me why you're mad. I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah.
So refs do have conversation about the call.
Oh my God, the whole time. So-and-so is trying to hurt my kid. No, they're not. They're not trying to do that. Also, your kid's been in the game for 10 seconds. He sits on the bench.
Also, this is to keep your kid out of trouble, and this is to entertain the community.
Yeah.
Chill out, Dad.
Also, why is there no story on any of these games being canceled? I'm not saying first of all, I believe John.
John might be breaking news to the whole community right now.
I don't know. I'm checking my
Isaiah did not have the hot button for the breaking news noise.
Yeah, why didn't you hit the breaking news?
Thanks a lot, Zay. Good job.
No responses yet via the text, but the follow-ups will occur.
Sure, and we'll do our due diligence and figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
Because this is awful to hear.
Yeah, we'll also do.
Thanks, John, for putting this on our radar. Appreciate it.
I also appreciate him. Also, when he said this is a really sports-centric show, I thought that was a weird compliment.
That's cool. Is this your first day, John?
What are you doing?
Okay. That's not the show. But
us.
Thank you. We do talk sports.
Our I-9 varsity today
significantly less than any other show in this genre.
Sports shows.
But yes, we do talk sports.
Our I-9 varsity today is I-9 varsity of basketball players I wouldn't want to fist fight.
Ooh.
That's a good sports topic.
Okay.
That is a good relevant one for this Lobos basketball team who has made weird decisions recently.
Yeah.
Let me paint this picture for you when we get back from the break. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
This report.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. We are live at Rio Bravo Brewery. We're talking the world of sports, sports culture, sports entertainment. Primarily, we're talking about this, and it's being reported by multiple news outlets, this fight on a plane for UNM basketball before their big weekend basketball deal this past weekend. Okay, it goes like this.
Okay.
Someone got snaked on a plane.
They did what?
Someone got snaked on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a well? Hold on. I think that has different meaning to me. I don't like what you just did there.
Snaked is like if someone like hits you and you're not paying attention. It's Snakes on a Plane, the movie. I really thought you'd catch that. Like instantly, I thought you'd catch it.
All right, snaked Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
When snakes you, it's like he just walked up and hit me. I wasn't like,
Okay.
snake.
Not what Urban Dictionary says.
Was it talking about someone who's fake?
It's about a backstabbing.
Urban Dictionary and the culture don't always have an exact Venn diagram crossover.
I'm learning that.
Yeah.
But saying someone is pretty.
I thought it was sexual. I thought it was going sexual. That's why I got confused. I thought it was a bedroom reference. I did not like that. I didn't like that my mind went there. It did. It went there.
Stole plane, maybe? Stole one to the shoulder?
Too. Yeah, that's a good one.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mhm.
I like that one. Passenger 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Is that a good one?
Yeah.
It's a little 1-2. That's fine. I am 6.5 foot tall. I need to be very clear on this. I'm roughly 260 pounds.
2 segments in a row. We're leaning into your height today, are we?
Well, here's why we're doing it.
Okay.
Real estate is valuable on planes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the first one to tell you.
Sure.
Like, you sit in the front row, you sit in the exit row. Those are kind of your only options. A lot of these basketball players, taller than me.
Historically and currently, basketball players are tall.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I get that there is such a value associated with premium seating on flights. I
Mhm.
get it. And if you are a human being that is not of the appropriate size,
Sure.
if you are the girlfriend of, if you are a shooting guard,
Mhm.
if you are a trainer, like you don't even
No.
you don't even stutter step to it
No.
because you're going to get hit like Trevor Lawrence running in the open field.
Oh, no.
So here's what happened. So there was definitely an exit row involved in this deal. There's no way it wasn't an exit row. It has to have been an exit row. And allegedly a walk-on, UNM Lobo, I don't know who.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we travel a lot, whether it's like quarterly or to events or
I
vacations
traveled
or
this past weekend.
just impromptu dates that we take each other on.
Yes.
Cute stuff like that
Little
we do.
Spirit flight.
You, before you even board the plane, you tell the people at the desk, hey, I am proactively volunteering to work the exit row.
Yes.
So I can stretch my little pupperinos
Put
out,
me
and
the
these long
first
legs
boarding
got more
group.
room. Yeah.
Now,
What's unfortunate is that the list you gave of people that shouldn't get the premium, as I know you're not a fan of a lot of the politics in college,
yep.
walk-ons, and they kind of get added to that list.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Mhm.
I super get it.
Yeah.
And when a walk-on player sat in the exit row and then got attacked by a player,
Allegedly, Yeah.
says UNM, actually says what happened. And now you, as the university, have to do damage control. By the way, and I'm going to say this like without punchline,
Yeah.
it is not at any time ever okay under any circumstance to physically harm another human being.
I'm in that camp.
Do not choose
I am
to.
almost 100% in that camp. There are few situations.
If you're preventing harm to yourself or another,
Yeah.
yes.
Punching a Nazi, Deshaun Watson,
Yeah.
like,
okay.
sure, I get it.
Okay. Yeah.
But one like right on the cusp, though, is why would you put in all the hours? Why would you work your buns off? Why would you hone your game to such a skill level to get a scholarship to a D1 college if you can't punch a walk-on? Like, why would you put yourself through all that effort if you can't punch down and take advantage of the losers on the end of the bench?
Let me see. Was this after a loss?
No, this is boarding a plane for a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And they're boarding.
This
Wow.
is
And also allegedly hours after the exact same event happened
with Auburn.
before they got the plane. No, the same individual allegedly punched the same individual before the plane incident. This isn't the first time it happened.
Oh my God.
Who went to authorities, went to the coaching staff and said, hey, the Big Ming scholarship boyo is bullying me and punching, and allegedly, I mean, his arm was in a sling with a hurt shoulder. Like, if you know the roster that well and you know who's a walk-on, you know who's injured, you could probably put 2 and 2 together here.
My God.
But yeah, this has already happened before they even got on the plane.
This is breaking news to me.
Yeah, a check. First off, like you guys said, no hit is acceptable. But within a sports team, fights will happen, but usually there's no punch thrown hard enough to injure somebody.
Well, normally basketball players don't know how to do that.
Right.
Like, I don't look at a lot of basketball players and be like, we're going to do the I-9 varsity basketball players you never want to box.
Yeah.
That makes sense. There
Sure.
will be a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, I look at most basketball players, and if Steph Curry tried to swing on me, I'd be okay.
Yeah. You just kind of laugh it off. Okay.
Yeah. Look at you, Steve Kerr. I would just put my arm out at length, and I would just put it on his little forehead, and I would say,
yeah. If he hit one of those punching bags in a bar, like the number would be lower than his 3-point percentage. Like, I don't think he could punch that hard.
God, I don't think he could punch that hard.
Also, I'd rather not take one to the chin and or injured shoulder from any high-level athlete.
Hey, by the way, the first basketball Lobo Talk of the season is tonight, right here on 610 KNML. Catch that immediately following our program.
Prepare your responses.
And when I say following our program, I mean cutting off our program at 6 p.m. You can catch that.
I got stuff to do. I could use this hour, I suppose.
There's like some people you just don't fight your teammates. Like this is not like a.
Yeah. You frustrated? Take it out on the other team on the court.
Do other stuff.
Yeah. Injure the other team's player and then look directly at the guy in the sling at the end of the bench and do the point to the eyeballs, point to them. You know that move. Eyeballs, 2 fingers to each eyeball, point at them, the little beep, boop, beep, boop. You're next.
Yeah.
And then stop the beef.
Also do this. Take your finger, make a fish hook motion, put it inside of your mouth, and fish hook your own mouth, showing that you could fish hook their mouth.
Yo.
That's an old-timey fighty move.
Dang.
Yeah.
What are you, like an Irish boxer from the 1800s?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, where'd you learn that move?
Yeah. McLaurin.
Old 6 fingers McGinty.
No. One hook McGinty. What does this state have to do to go without basketball programs doing dumb stuff? And also, stuff is not strong enough for how I feel about this.
My goodness. This doesn't even register for New Mexico State.
No.
Yeah, this doesn't even make the news in New Mexico State.
This must
the UNM Lobos with like a good reputation and what I would consider years of good behavior. This is a huge deal. New Mexico State, this doesn't even make the news.
Isaiah?
They're like, a guy only punched someone today. Like, it's a great day.
New York Post has an article about it, which kind of shocked me.
All right, read it in its entirety. I'll take the segment off.
They're just paraphrasing KKOB.
Duh, that's what they all are.
KOB, excuse me.
Van Tate said on 13 that something happened. Updates to come later. Look, okay, cool.
We have direct reports from not Brandon Ortega.
Yeah, no, R.I.P.
Quick little paragraph. It says 2 New Mexico basketball players battled in a battled.
It was just one punch, but I understand.
It was more of a match, in my opinion. But it says in a midair fight over a seat on a plane, while on a plane en route to Palm Springs, California. For the Classic, the 2 unnamed Lobos basketball players were involved in an incident that resulted in a scholarship player punching a walk-on player in the shoulder and needing medical treatment. The family of the walk-on player told KOB4 there was also a separate incident where the scholarship player hit their son at the hotel earlier that day. They also revealed to KOB4 that said player went to the coaching staff led by Richard Pitino, son of Rick Pitino, and his staff didn't do anything about the alleged assault.
Now, I can tell you this. Lee is not getting to the bottom of it. I can tell you that. Like, we're not going to have a super investigation from 4 on this.
I think they just wanted to name drop Richard Pitino.
Of course they did.
That's all this article is about.
Clickbait.
His name is tagged, and the only other thing that's tagged is KOB for New Mexico.
All right.
Yeah.
You telling me
young student athlete sitting feet away from Rick Pitino's son punches another student athlete. That's their headline. Just click. Does it say the word Pitino? Click. I'll watch it. Yeah.
Here's what I'm saying.
Dirty pool, man.
I thought it was boarding, but now with everything that Isaiah's just said to me in this great update, I've changed my entire opinion.
Okay.
So earlier I was real oppo this whole thing. You heard me say that.
Yeah, sure.
Now, here's what I believe happened. Speculatively.
Okay.
You do this number. You say, hey, okay, you keep that seat. Halfway through the flight, though, we're switching. And then if he doesn't switch after agreeing to the switch, that's basically fighting the way I see it.
What really sucks here is, I know you mentioned that there was another incident, but it says that his shoulder was already in the sling.
Oh, he punched him in his slinged up arm?
Yeah, he punched him in his injured shoulder, allegedly.
it had to be something personal.
Hey, hear me out on this, and I get it, fellowship and teamwork stuff. If my arm's in a sling and I'm not playing, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Like, Isaiah, you've been there. I've been there. Van, I think you've been there. It's only fun to play on a team with your friends, and that only happened when you're a little kid. When you get older and you start playing with people that aren't your friends, playing on a team sucks.
Yep. Suck is a little heavy, but it becomes work. It becomes tedious. It becomes laborious. The childhood luster wears off.
Well, then that's when you factor in personality and how much you like people.
I don't like anyone. Yeah. I will go to the YMCA with Van and work out, and it's fun. If I have to go with Isaiah, it sucks. I don't want to do that. I'm not flying to California where I have to Uber Eats In-N-Out Burger to my hotel because no one's cool enough to go with me because I don't want to hang out with these losers anyway.
Sure.
I don't want to do that. And if my arm's in a sling, you know what I'm doing on the holiday weekend? You know what I'm doing? Anything else in the whole world.
If you don't think hazing exists in college sports, you're a fool. Like the New Mexico State stuff, 18 steps too far.
That's gross.
Way over the line. That is awful. You don't do that kind of stuff to human beings.
Isaiah called it snaking.
But if you think that like everything is like perpetually happy-go-lucky kumbaya in a locker room and on a practice court, no, they're getting each other's faces every day. They're picking on the guys at the end on the bench.
Yeah.
The guys on the end of the bench carries their bags. The guy at the end of the bench, the walk-on guys, is like, hey, that seat looks good. Get up and go to the back. That happens all the time.
Are you familiar with Debo?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's real stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, what size are those? Well, you know they're 13s, and you know the university gave them to me because they gave you some too.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
What you got on my 40 walk on?
Yep. That's the wildest part. And it's D1 walk-ons. Like all these guys can play. They can all play basketball.
Sure.
Unless like their dad's the coach and his name is Alfred.
Yeah.
Like they can all play.
A lot of dad coach situations out there.
A lot of dad coach
situations.
Yeah.
And also I wonder, okay, so well, I guess I had this question before I read the New York Post.
Okay.
I was wondering how this leaked out. I know I went to a D2.
There's a lawsuit.
Oh, there's a whole lawsuit.
They have a lawyer. They lawyered up
immediately.
Which is
family.
That's also what I would have done.
Sure.
I would have lawyered up so quick. Do you know what happens when you punch me on a school trip on a school bus / airplane?
Right.
That's what the university needs to do. They got to take the airplane away. Okay, hear me out. Here's the punishment. All right, and it's the one where like, you know, because you're super soft D1 coach or you're brand new athletic director at a university.
Welcome to Albuquerque.
Yeah. So you go listen.
Everyone's a Lovo.
Oh, that's a good one. You say, hey, now I have to punish the whole class. No one gets an airplane.
Ooh, that's a good start.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
So you put them
coming hot.
Yeah, not a Greyhound though, a Red Lobo. So you put them on a Red Lobo bus. Okay.
No, just crudely spray paint a yellow school bus red.
This is a good idea.
Yeah, and say this is what you get until conference play.
Yeah,
this is what you get.
Yeah,
you're on temporary suspension from your airplane
you
privileges.
Act like elementary kids, you're going to get treated like elementary kids. You put them all on the bus.
And like what Van said earlier, we don't know the names, but if you know the rosters, maybe you can figure it out. But
I'm not saying anything.
Some of what I'm thinking is, I mean, it has to be
la 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 la.
No, not names, but like bigger guy versus smaller. I'm trying to think of a scenario as to where now this is when I don't know if it's because there's no big difference between football and basketball.
The smallest guy's 6'1", Zay.
but in the biggest guys, I'm sure he's huge. So I'm
almost 7 foot.
You have to really, in order for it to get to the point where you're cool with your parent, like as a player, right? You're at the school, you're on the team. For you to know that all this will happen because you got hit, like it has to be a situation where you feel you're completely, it's like it's unfair outside of the sling. But I don't know if he caused the sling but it's like, it has to be like freshman, senior, point guard versus center.
There are no seniors
something like
anymore.
That. Like we don't need to speculate on who did it. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter if Braden was throwing them apple hands. It doesn't matter if Donovan put a dent in them. You know, it doesn't matter if Washington trued one to his shoulder. Like, that don't matter. It doesn't matter if Cade put a dot on his son. Yeah. Like, it doesn't – none of this matters. Like, it's all speculation.
It doesn't matter if Devon stepped on the plane before they took off and just damn-piered everyone. None of that matters.
It doesn't matter if Philip put him through some Borovic pain.
All right, that one was a reach.
Well, really what I was getting at, though, is for it to become this big, I mean, the player involved has to be cool with it, and you have to not care about any of the rebuttal, like any of the backlash. And I just wonder how bad it could have been. Maybe a staff member.
What do you mean staff member?
Like, originally I was like, was it maybe a staff member that saw this and told, or was it the player that, like, reached out and was like, hey,
allegedly the player told the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm into.
Yeah.
Like that, like for if someone hits you, like
it's just if you keep getting away with that stuff, it's just going to snowball. So nip it in the bud immediately. Like there's no snitching when your own personal safety's involved. Like that's different.
I agree.
You're not ratting out your homie.
Hey, also
like it's different. You're protecting yourself.
Can we take
There's a huge difference.
And let's take the temperature of the water we're swimming in here. Remember New Mexico State? Like, no, I'm not playing with these games. Also, I wanted to confirm this because it was Thanksgiving. So obviously I was spending it with family and not watching basketball. Arizona State beat UNM 85-82 on Thanksgiving, and then UNM 10-point victor over USC on Friday.
Yeah.
So the cat who did the punching played in both of these games. Also, the Lobos lost one, so that makes him a loser. And what's up with the coaching staff not immediately doing something?
Sure.
You have to. When one of your dudes decks another dude, you had to put that DNP coach's decision.
Sure.
And here's what happened.
Yeah.
The player, I bet he just told his family, because even the New York Post, it says his family reported.
Yeah.
Earlier. I bet he told his family, and they are the ones. Because, you know, once mom or dad hears a certain thing, I mean, there's nothing you can tell them to say, no, don't do it. I don't know if he said, okay, go for it. But I wonder if he just told them, and then he's like, oh, I told them too much. Like, I can't. There's nothing I can do at this point. And his parents are like, no, we're going to do something about this. Like, there's nothing you can tell us to make us stop. Because it doesn't say he did, but it says his family has been reporting that there was an incident earlier.
Hey, his lawyer.
And also, like, not doing your due diligence as a coaching staff, as an athletic department, to nip this in the bud immediately. Like, be proactive. Like, hey, no stupid stuff from our program. You see what just happened down south? Because most of this country barely knows New Mexico is even a state. More or less the difference in between Albuquerque and Las Cruces. More or less the difference in between Lobos and Aggies. They're like, oh, did you see what New Mexico did again? What an embarrassment. Because that's the rest of the country doesn't know any better. That's what they're saying right now.
The player who was allegedly punched was in a sling at the time because of a prior shoulder injury. The family claims the teammate punched him in the shoulder, and he had to be treated at an Albuquerque hospital once he returned from Palm Springs. That's why you have to say something, because now, like, there's a medical bill involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lawyer bill.
That's so stupid. This is the stupidest thing. Also, like, I'm noticing a trend with my opinion about this. I'm mad disappointed university-wise here. Because even if you have a potential issue, and I get it, you want to win every game.
Yeah.
I get it. You want to beat former Pac-12 schools. I get it. All of that tracks. None of that is more important than making sure young adults become good men.
Sure. Number one on your list.
Just wild to me. Just wild to me. UNM. All right, here we go. New athletic director Fernando Lobo is set to begin yesterday.
I was going to say, what a first
wild
situation for him to handle.
Yeah, welcome. So hey, welcome to the university. These are the dorms. This is the baseball, softball facility. It's really nice. And by the way, you have to deal with this dumb stuff. That's how that goes. Also, they moved a bunch of press conferences around and stuff. And I'm not trying to be that guy, but like, come on, let's do the right thing.
Like, if I'm him, I'm like, all right, let me show everybody how well I can handle adversity. Better go and do everything you can to make this right and do what's correct in the public eye, because you're the new guy, and not everyone's looking, but more and more people will be looking. the more this goes on.
I mean, this is the week that he's supposed to come out, at halftime, wave to the crowd. He's supposed to be walking around the office and like shaking hands and meeting new people and learning about people and their families, all the people he's going to be sharing offices with and working with. And this is the week he's supposed to like get his sea legs and put his diploma on the wall and figure out which pictures of the family he wants on his desk. Like, no, he's got to go to work because there's been an assault on a plane.
So, listen, we got a lot going on here. Obviously, welcome to your new home. We have this beautiful mountainscape here, beautiful lake over here. It's a little bit outside the city. Oh, did I say lake? I meant litigation. It's right here. That's what we have. And that sucks.
Also, this just happened to Auburn.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and they united as a team and like went on a sweet ass run and like was dominating every game they played. So maybe this is like Richard Pitino's criminal mastermind. Like, hey, this is how we're going to unite the team and go on a run here, and we're going to do it through violence.
No,
you don't think? Is that not a hot take?
I know the game has changed. I know it's only NIL money. I know this is just a payday before a payday overseas. Like, I get D1 sports. I'm going to say this, though. If I'm a parent, and my options are go to university where recently there was a story that kids were assaulted by teammates, or go anywhere else that also has NIL money.
Sure.
I'm not picking the one where my kid gets assaulted.
Yeah.
Also, hey.
Let's be a little advantageous here. Like, there's some good sponsorship opportunities. Like,
no,
you're listening to Lobo Basketball, sponsored by Jackson Wink Gym. No, is that what we're doing? We'll do that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
you have to hit his shoulder to cause a sling from a punch.
When we get back from the break, we talk a little bit about the culture around the UNM men's basketball team and why alleged assailant was so very comfortable beating up a teammate in front of his coaches and the support staff.
Wild.
Allegedly. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610. Live from Rio Bravo Brewery. It's a Taco Tuesday. Come hang out with us, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. I, of course, am Fred Slow. Van Nunley here with me at Rio Bravo Brewery. Isaiah Johnson back at the studio. We'll have a fun guest. When are we doing that? It's 5 o'clock?
When she's done with her dinner.
What?
Yeah.
What?
She's here to eat first. She needs to fill the belly, fill the tum-tum.
Amanda Manchon's going to join us. She's from Red Light Cameras. They got some cool stuff going on in the community. We'll talk to her later about that. I've never in my life been like, you know what I think is a good idea? Punch a coworker in front of my boss.
Sure.
I've never one time been like,
yeah.
You know what I think is like the prime move in this scenario?
Yeah.
To deck a teammate in front of my coach.
Yeah.
In his sorry arm.
Establish dominance
also,
over my freedom.
Everything I'm saying here is alleged. Also, if allegedly all this happened, I mean, what is going on that we're just letting that athlete particate?
Again, like this is all new. This is a new story.
Sure.
This is new to us. This is new to the country. This is new to UNM athletics. But good data will come out. We'll know more about this. I'm hoping very fast, so the speculation can ramp down a little bit. But yeah, like if you knew ahead of time that this incident already happened, and then without saying anything, without policing the situation, and not even like the coaching staff or UNM athletics stepping in, your captains, unless it was a captain, at least telling your captains of the team, like, hey, go fix this situation. Like be a leader. Talk to both of these guys, sit them down, make sure this doesn't happen again. So it seems like nothing was done before they got on the plane, and then the incident happened once again. I
can tell you what was done. Somebody on the coaching staff, or not the team, or the team, or something, somebody did this. They said, hey, just be cool, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone here, just be cool, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a big deal. It's up to you, the victim.
Have you ever not punched somebody?
Yeah.
A lot cooler if you did.
I'm trying to play different scenarios through my head, and every single one, a red flag pops up.
Yeah.
And for the main one that, it seems the most logical, I didn't play basketball, but I've been on a sports football team, especially kind of nowadays, the way things are. And what I could basically be confident in saying that what happened was the player, the family knew, but within the players, they tried to find out a way to prevent the coach from knowing exactly what happened. But it says that he told the coach. And I don't know. That's, of course, all this is allegedly. So what I would think is that maybe they told the coach something else happened rather than what actually happened. But then he actually told his family the truth. So then his family comes down with the hammer, and now we have this big situation.
Add a cover up to this thing. It's going to get much juicier.
I think they tried to not tell the coach exactly what happened. I think the report saying that he just straight up walked up to the coach and said, hey, I got punched, and that's why I'm in a sling. And Patino just didn't care. I find that harder to believe.
I think the sling injury was before the punching.
Okay, I thought the first punch caused a sling.
No. I think he was previously injured.
Yeah,
from what I understand.
Okay, so I think that's what happened. Somebody watching the stream says the walk-on player is scheduled to be interviewed on the 5:30 local news. That's insane.
All right,
yo,
Isaiah, your new responsibility is watch that interview.
That's crazy.
How many TVs are in there? Make sure we get the right one. Friend of the show, Hank, says, I believe channel 13 at 5:30.
Hey, let's go, Van.
Dang.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You give it to Van first.
Hey.
Not me, the good one.
No, the good Van.
Yeah, the talented one.
Hey,
like the tall, handsome, like melanated one.
I'll hang up right now and call him. I'll say, leave Van.
Okay, the second your camera turns off.
Yeah. Call Van.
505-246-0610.
Okay, so toss out
or me. You got my number.
Yeah, but not Jared Chester.
Toss out.
How dare you?
Only Van.
Toss out what I just said. If he's going and doing an interview, then that means he definitely tried to let somebody know beforehand. And now he's all in on this lawsuit. He's all in with I don't want to say the hype, it's the news being involved, the eyes and the attention that's now been brought to it. I mean, it's not like someone's sitting there forcing him to go on for this interview. I'm sure they answered a phone call and said, yeah, I'm down to do that.
Yeah, of course they are.
Didn't UNM have like a sorority this year, do like a big fight club thing? Or am I making that up? Will you Google that? Because I feel like there was a story where they had like a bracket style sorority fight club.
Oh my god!
Like,
God, I went to college at the wrong time.
I'm telling you.
Well, I don't know if it's going to. Oh yeah, April 1st, 2024.
Is it real or is it like an April Fool's thing?
The Daily Lobo, UNM sorority hosts fight club for rush season.
No, that's got to be an April Fool's thing then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if that's the only
Yeah,
thing on the
that can't be
internet.
real.
No, that's
Okay.
you got April Fools, boys.
No,
But
I
Daily
said it
Lobo,
was probably April Fool's. I'm telling you. I didn't get April Fooled.
I think so.
Can you be Team
Think you
Fred
did.
here for a
Think
second?
you did.
No, I
Think you
said.
got.
Oh my God!
Sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
I'm knowing what I'm knowing.
Okay.
I said allegedly
Oh, okay.
there was a sorority fight club that apparently only existed on
April 1st. Uh-huh.
Hey, we just bracketed out the girls here. It was the first one to pull an extension out.
Also, Zay, write that idea down. Let's make this a reality.
No, do not
On
write
it.
that idea down.
Little side note: friend of the show says, so one of our bumpers came on bumper,
Okay.
and he said he liked it, and I told him that we'd play it again for him, and we played it again, and he found the song, and he says he was having an awful day, and now his day is made.
What song?
Yo,
is it? What's the name of
okay.
the song?
That's cool.
I still don't know the name of it. What we agreed on is that he was going to Google or Shazam it when it came back on. So I believe one of those methods worked. So we made
Awesome.
All right. Now, for the record, I picked all the bumper music.
Yeah.
So I want to be very clear on that. This is my taste of music. Also, all of our bumper music is Nelly adjacent. That's how I picked it. That was my search cue.
Yeah. Also, none of it is copywritten. And that's the only
it's
reason.
all free to use.
Because we own all of this. Like, this is all we put up on our podcast immediately. The only way we can,
When I looked
if
up,
we don't have to pay actual Nelly, just people who sound like Nelly.
Well, hold on. We have
Yeah.
we have a license for this.
Yeah,
Like
for
we can
this.
play.
Yeah,
Here's what I looked for. I looked for Nelly adjacent
sure,
and theme song adjacent.
sure.
Those are the things I looked up whenever
Yeah.
I did this. That's why we have the one Roseanne one.
You made a few bad ones,
No,
and
I
then
did
we
not.
got rid of
No.
those.
No, I did not.
I put my foot down on a couple of them. They
I'm-
sounded awful.
I am the best at this.
Yeah.
Everything I do is like I'm a scholarship player, and everything you
Oh.
do is like you're a walk-on.
Okay, well, go read the Daily Lobo and tell me about it on April 1st.
Hey, good on the Daily Lobo for putting out
It's very funny.
a story that fooled you.
Yeah. Good. Whom?
Them,
Okay.
So
they, them.
a little question about this walk on. I'd assume if you're
Okay.
going on the news,
Don't assume.
you got to be planning to leave the team already. I'm sure. I don't know if it's been reported,
Dog, your
but
shoulder don't even work. You're trying to get red shirted
you're
so you
you're
can
off-
go play somewhere else.
yeah, he's probably not even on campus.
No, he's at UNM hospital. We just read about it. That's what the interview is going to be from the hospital bed.
Sure.
You think it's going to be how they do for those anonymous interviews where it's like blacked out? And he's just,
Don't let him put me on my shoulder. He said, "I'll give me all your airline peanuts." That's what he said.
He's and the guy was like, "Hey
He
man,
said the captain gave you one of those really cool wing pins, and he's told me to give me his really cool wing pin. And I said, no, this is my really cool wing pin.
Then he
punched me.
in my broken wing." I need this extra leg room for my broken arm. They punched him. That's what happened. So stupid. When we get back from the break, we're still at Rio Bravo Brewery. It's 2 Men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Boo, Sports Animal.
Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. We are at Rio Bravo Brewery where they're serving tacos on a Tuesday. I forgot to call Van Tate during the break.
Don't ever call me Tate. The food here is so fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not just good for bar food. It's not just good for brewery food. It's good for food.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to come check this place out if you haven't.
I had a cheeseburger and a salad.
$2 tacos in this economy?
How do you go a whole day without your sports program getting under a weird investigation? What do you got to do?
It's been a pretty good run. What are you talking about?
Yeah, ish.
Are we lumping all New Mexico colleges together or just UNM? UNM's been doing pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
I just want it.
And for the friends of the show who don't know,
Okay.
if you're not familiar with the story, and I'm sure everyone is, a Lobo scholarship basketball player allegedly punched a walk-on player on an airplane, and allegedly another incident had happened previously before they got on the airplane.
And the punch wasn't like a punch in a straight-up fight. It was a punch in his like broken arm.
Yeah, in his injured shoulder.
Like the lowest of lows.
Not only are you punching down, you're kicking someone while they're down. You're trying to fight an injured guy.
I don't like that.
Soft.
I don't like it.
Soft.
And whoever I find out that it is, because eventually we'll all find out who it was.
Maybe in like 30 minutes when allegedly the walk-on player is going to be on local news media.
Do you think it's going to be a sports story or a news story? It's a news story.
It's a news story.
It's a news
This
story.
transcends sports.
Yeah. Call Stephanie Chavez. Let's figure it out.
Sure.
Get her on the air. Isaiah, are you dying there?
505-246-0610.
Say,
Any fellow members of the local media want to weigh in?
yeah, tell me what you know. The problem with TV is they just read. Like you can't have a TV guy on and get any sort of personality out of them. You know how much better Brandon Ortega got after he left TV?
Like his life and stress levels and level of salt and pepper hair that he had, that.
You know, I noticed that his hair was no longer just for men after TV.
It's for everyone now.
For everyone.
Yeah.
I've been growing mine out. What color gray would you describe this as?
Very?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're super close.
Chrome.
To looking like Ashley Schaefer, Will Ferrell's character
from Eastbound and Down.
Like you're like 2 months away. Like you're getting there. Turning the corner.
I'm trying to grow it into the BV. I want to look like Brandon Vogt.
Also, Zay put it on the list. If you haven't seen Eastbound and Down, like that's one of the best sports adjacent shows of all time.
Okay.
It's kind of about sports. It's baseball centric.
It's baseball centric, but it's not really about baseball.
No. I mean,
you ever gonna let the flow hang in the front? You're just gonna always keep it slicked back. What if it starts to get that little curl that gets
you You want him to push it across the forehead like early 2000s emo kid? Like Jimmy Butler at Media Day last year, like that?
For the record,
die besides as I would die for you. That's what Fred says.
For the record, everyone calls me Slickback.
Oh,
so,
Tuesday now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my nickname. It's my nickname in the streets.
Nice. I didn't even stay down. Just perked right on back up. Yep. That's. I need that product.
I have like double calic. I don't even know how to describe what I have going on up here. And if you try to do it the other way,
What do you mean?
Show. First of all, if you have a good barber that knows long hair, call me.
Okay.
Because my guy knows like skin fades and Hispanic hair.
Okay.
Like I'm in a tough spot. I need a stylist with how hippie I've become. You are the professional here.
You do not. I'm the long hair expert here.
Not anymore.
I've grown out my hair 5 times and donated
Your
it.
hair is 5 inches shorter than mine.
From teenage to like 2 years ago, I have grown my hair out past a foot and donated it. And then the first gray hair I saw, I was like, well, can't donate anymore.
My hair is at least 7 inches long.
It's a good size. I'm the long hair expert here. I can give you a trim. I could set you up for success.
No.
Because the only problem with growing out your hair is you got some what I call transition phases.
2024.
By the way, not after January 20th.
No, it's all over.
No more transitioning.
Yeah, stay where you're at.
You kind of just got to keep growing it out, Just let it go. You just have to say, all right, it's going to be a hat month. And then you just keep growing it and growing it. Don't trim it because it's going to get weird. You got to let it go.
I have a professional
like
day job.
Elsa in Frozen. Did I get that right? I think that was a correct reference.
That's Let It Be.
Yeah, I hope my niece is listening. God, I hope she's not listening.
It's
actually,
a cover of a Beatles song.
Okay, it's very similar. 2 words. Besides that, not alike at all whatsoever in form or function.
Yeah, I think the verbiage is whiskers and hair of wisdom. Let it be.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be.
Nailed it.
At 5:30, after Isaiah watches the 5:30 news, because allegedly there's going to be who told you this information?
Hank Pereira.
Oh, friend of the show, Hank said that.
Yeah, we just do first names.
All right, we
friend
just
of
do
the
first names. We do all
friend
the
of the
time.
friend of the show, Hank.
I swear to God, Isaiah, it's like your first day every day.
Yeah.
Well, that time it wasn't a winner. It was somebody who actually posted on the
So
name.
no, he did. He in Zay's defense in this moment, he did give away information, so that's fine.
Right.
Yes.
First and last.
That's just his Facebook name, guys. Nowadays we use different names. It's probably his government name.
Could be anything.
Everyone that I have to block on social media.
Sure.
Also, stop being a coward on social media. Like, I'm not trying to be that dude right now, but if your thing is, I want to create a faux social media account to bother the form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
Talking to you, Kevin Durant.
Also, by the way, friend of the show called and said that Sam and Sons in the Rio Rancho asked for Sam. He's a good barber.
All right.
Okay.
So
Sam and Sons, Rio Rancho can do long hair.
What am I going to drive to?
Free
Rio
plug.
Rancho?
You're welcome.
All right, they're closed right now, but that's okay because I'm on air. All right, I don't see an announcement on any social media outside of Hank claiming that there's going to be an interview.
Okay.
I can't trust it.
We find out anything about 6 basketball games being canceled tonight either, like we heard in the first segment?
Moving forward.
Okay.
I don't trust anything reported to me by friends of the show.
Also, it's 5:09. This town shut down 9 minutes ago. So probably more like an hour and 9 minutes ago. Not a lot of movement on this stuff.
Not a lot of movement is my professional life post-Thanksgiving.
Ah, yes. On the toilet.
What?
Not a lot of movement.
I said professional.
Oh, really? You're a professional at it?
You're making me mad.
Huh. What day is it?
Tuesday.
One that ends in Y?
It's a Taco Tuesday.
Okay, let's go. $2 tacos here at Rio Bravo Brewing. Also, fantastic taco. Not just any tacos. how they get away with like turning a profit, selling these fantastic tacos for $2 a pop is beyond me.
Are they really $2?
It's basically magic. Yeah, $2 a pop.
I don't know how you know that.
We've known that for months. We're here every Tuesday.
You get charged.
No one tells Fred.
Van just picks up the bill. I have no idea what tacos cost.
Yeah, by the way, eat less tacos, dude. This is getting expensive.
Because they come in all flavors. All right, here we go. So friend of the show, Hank, says, would I lie to you? And here's the thing.
First off, yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you would.
Yeah, friend of the show, Hank, you would set me up for that failure.
In the 100 percentile, you'd do that.
In all honesty, stuff like this, I bet, like Twitter or X, I bet that's probably maybe a good place to find something.
I mean, probably, right?
Better than Google.
The problem, I just looked on Blue Sky. I don't see anything there. Is it on Blue Sky?
I think Blue Sky is all just AOC tweets, right? It's just like
That
it's all
sounds like
her now.
That sounds like a trap website. I'm not putting that in my browser.
What is a trap website?
Like
you give me one
like in
before.
Thailand, like that kind of trap.
You guys gave me one. It was around when I first started. I forgot. It said, don't. You said put that in the search browser. You said actually don't because IT is going to come looking for you.
Yeah, not on your work computer. Cruise around with a burner, bro. What have I taught you, Zay?
Zay, you know we often get our hip hop updates from you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we?
All right, good point. Good point.
Okay. In my defense, you do.
Why didn't you tell us about Eminem's mom dying today?
I saw the post about that this morning, but it was so new that it didn't have much interaction. So I was like, I'm going to wait and see if that's real or not. It crossed my mind. I was in the gym when this song came on. I wonder if this guy's mourning his mother right now. That's something that everybody that listens to Eminem, I mean, you just always kind of wondered, like,
yeah,
what happens.
She sued her kid for $11 million. She won the lawsuit, but I think he only paid her like $1,000.
Also, Eminem's mom dying at 69. I can't wait for the next diss track. It is going to be fire.
I think they're cool, though. I think he's got that song, Headlights, kind of dedicates it to her.
No, they kind of made up, but still.
Then in the last album, he came back with a little bit of 2002 Eminem. I'm like, all right, maybe she made him angry. Yeah, so I guess that actually happened. Also, Kendrick and SZA announced a tour.
Are they dating?
I'm not sure if they were.
No, Kendrick is married with children.
Drake says, "Is that your tour? Or is that your girl's tour?" Aging like fine wine.
How come
Kendrick should sue him for defamation now for saying mean things.
Now, how come
Drake is so 6,000 thread counts sheet soft. It is sad.
I hate that we can't go further into this, but joining us after the break is Amanda Machone of the Red Light Cameras. We're going to talk to her about some stuff she's got going on in the community. Here's all I'm saying: if somebody says, "Hey, you are you break all these laws and you do all these morally like irresponsible and irreputable things," then why is your counter? I believe your album spins are fake. Like, there's a lot to fight with here.
Yeah.
That's not the one. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by Lazy Boy.
Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. We are live at Rio Bravo Brewery. Amanda Michonne is joining us. She is Red Light Cameras. They got some fun stuff going on this month. Welcome back to the show, friend. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Well, we interrupted your lovely happy hour dinner and drinks here at Rio Bravo Brewing.
It was you.
We were like, okay, yeah, I won't tie you into this. I was like, oh my God, that's Panda, which of course you are, Amanda Michonne from Red Light Cameras, amongst many other things. And I was like, she has to have something cool going on. Let's get her on the program.
Just the usual hustling, gigging, all the good things.
So the band's playing. You got some cool events coming up. What's going on in late December?
Yeah, so we have an event coming up that I'm super passionate about. It's with a school, rock school here in Albuquerque called Rock 101.
Sweet.
They do a music program where they teach kids basically how to not only teach them instruments, but you also have the option to participate in their band league where they teach you how to be a band. From all of it, they teach you how to make music, learn how to play together, the dynamics of a band, making merch as well.
Super important.
It's really rad. They give them kind of a leg up that I know a lot of musicians, we all look at it and we're like, man, I wish I had that.
Sure.
When I was
I'd rather have a
learning
leg
how to
up than break a leg.
Yep.
Yeah. Can we give legs instead of break them? But anyway, so this December 21st, we're going to be playing a show where the kids they compete in a battle of the bands, it's kind of their final project. And then they are going to be opening up for us. So Red Light Cameras are going to open up for.
And Fred, you specifically, and every other listener out there, all of the probably millions of fans listening right now, I'm just rounding up a tiny bit. You have to see Red Light Cameras live. The energy is fantastic. You and the band, you put on an amazing show every time. And whenever I get a chance, I always show up and catch you guys. And it's not just, you're not just out there gigging, but like with the Rock 101 stuff, you always got your fingers in the community. You're always doing something cool for Albuquerque and surrounding areas because you're Burkina. You've been here forever. Talk a little bit about you and your connection to this city that we love so much.
Yeah, so I tell people I'm kind of like the cheerleader of Albuquerque. I just think that, it gets painted in maybe a darker color than it needs to all the time. And
turquoise, it's called turquoise.
But bringing some light and some kind of happiness to everything that we're doing. We're a really cool, I think, untapped city that has a lot of really great things going on for it. So one of the things that I do is I host a show that's a TV show. It's all about Albuquerque. It's called Absolutely Albuquerque, where every episode we go with a different local and we check out their favorite spots. So basically show me your Albuquerque. We'll go do some activity and then we go check out their favorite place to eat. And always chimichangas for life.
Good answer.
They, 2 a.m. can't beat it. But so I have a TV show, and then also, like Dan said, anything that can pump up our city and make everybody just see how rad we are here, I'm all for it.
3 Saturdays from now is Saturday, December 21st. It's an all ages show, $10 cover. That is at Launchpad, where you can see Red Light Cameras, and that's the Rock 101 Music Academy Golden Vinyl Showcase van. Go out and get away from your family before you have to spend the entire week with your family.
Yeah, come on.
Hard agree.
The kids are great. They're super talented, and it just shows you the kids are all right.
The kids are all right.
I mean, not scholarship Lobo basketball players on airplanes,
not them.
but the younger kids, the younger generation. There's hope for them.
I wasn't talking about our hoodlums.
Yeah, which are aplenty, which we love.
Amanda, thank you so much for taking a minute with us.
Thanks,
we appreciate
guys. Thank you.
When we get back from the break, we continue our news of the day, and we do set the plate for more Lobo updates with our I-9 varsity, which is I-9 varsity of basketball players that would not want to fist fight. 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to 2 Men On. It's today's I-9 varsity. I-9 varsity basketball players that wouldn't want to get in a fist fight with. Currently going on over at I-9 Sports is soccer. That's co-ed indoor. You know how much fun that is. League office 280 at i9sports.com, 505-312-4999. The I-9 varsity of basketball players I wouldn't want to get in a fist fight with, man.
Okay, this is a good one.
You want to go first? Or you want to go last?
You kick it off or punch it off.
All right, I didn't like what you did there. I guess, and I'm not trying to be like stereotypical here, but give me Billy Hoyle.
Nice.
Yeah, I think
it's a good one.
Yeah, like, he's tough. Like, you see the streets he ran in?
Pretty rough.
So put Billy Hoyle on the list. I know he can't jump, but I think he's got some reach.
He does have some reach.
Yeah.
Billy Hoyle's a really great answer. Like, it's hard being a hustler out in them streets, so he's got his street cred for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So there you go. Van?
All right. First on my I-9 varsity of ballers that you don't want to punch. Is that what we're going with here?
Sure.
Something like that. All right. I put him as my leadoff hitter. He should be the cleanup hitter, but I had to get this one out of the way because this might be the baddest dude in the history of the association.
Yep.
If you're unfamiliar, this is James Johnson.
All right.
You know James Johnson, Fred?
JJ, yeah.
His nickname is Bloodsport. Why, you might ask, is his nickname Bloodsport?
Okay.
Because his parents are Olympic gold taekwondo medalists, and he is 7-0 in MMA, and he's 20-0 in kickboxing. This is one of the baddest dudes on the planet, and he just so also happens to play basketball.
Is this the dude that plays for the Pacers?
He's played for everyone.
Okay.
First on my I-9 varsity, give me James Johnson.
Not so bad.
Yeah, definitely stole mine there.
Nice. Well, that's why I got it out of the way first.
Because
that's the best answer. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a good answer, but I think the true best answer is Ron Artest, a.k.a. Metal Peace.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good one.
I mean, this guy, already was feared amongst NBA players, and then we saw what happened in the Mouse and the Palace. Looked a little bit like those college football games last weekend. Give me Ron Artest, a.k.a. Metal World Peace.
Good answer. This is a good answer.
Yep, strong, very strong.
Now, I'm not one to be one-upped.
Okay,
right? That's not
naturally.
That's not my thing. I know for a fact this dude I'm about to name is tough.
Okay. Also James Johnson.
No, he's already been named almost 3 times.
Jamie Johnson.
Yeah. Give me Sidney Dean. So Sidney,
dynamic duo right there.
You see,
yeah.
And if there were 2 guys to really just like face off and throw on each other, Sidney Dean and Billy Hoyle would be it. So I want Sidney Dean as my number 2.
To pair with Billy Hoyle.
Yeah, because similar to Billy Hoyle, he's a hustler.
All right, great answer.
Yeah,
great answer. You did them one at a time. I'm gonna take a cheat code here.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna pair a couple right here.
All right,
the Wallace boys. Give me Ben and Rasheed Wallace.
Okay, are they related?
They are not.
All right,
they're related. If you're a Detroit Pistons fan, they're both your fathers. That's the only relation. Ben and Rasheed Wallace
are your father.
They are a scary duo in the National Basketball Association. I wouldn't want to go up against either one of them, more or less both of them.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Isaiah?
I'm going to go with really good two. I'm trying to choose between. I'm going to go with Draymond Green. Give me Draymond Green, the heavy hitters first. Draymond Green, I mean, he has shown that he's not going to play it fair. He'll kick, scratch,
Yep.
Dip, poke, literally look you in the eyes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give me Draymond.
Okay, good answer.
Yeah.
Now, since you, Van, went with a team, the Rasheed and whoever else, Wallace.
Ben Wallace,
Benjamin
of course.
Wallace. I'm also going to go with a team of players.
All right.
The Monstars.
Cost me a lot of money. those Monstars.
You wagered on them.
Yeah, they were huge favorites. There's no way
in
the Toon
movie,
Squad was going to beat the Monstars.
In the movie Space Jam.
Cost me a lot of money. Monstars and the points did not cover.
Van?
Yeah. Next on my I-9 varsity of ballers you don't want to punch or whatever we ended up calling it.
Uncle Drew.
Have you ever seen, like, when historians depict what a caveman would actually look like in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next on my I-9 varsity is, of course, Steven Adams.
Yeah.
That is a scary, scary dude. Like, Steven Adams. Oh, God. Well, I mean, that's not bad either. But Steven Adams looks like the amalgamation of every caveman depicted in your anthropology book, your science book, your genetics textbook, like old movies. Like, if you smash them all together,
Neanderthal,
you end up with Steven Adams. I would not mess with this dude.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's a fact, but I guess he's the strongest guy in the league.
Yeah,
maybe maybe as a basketball strength. I'm sure there's some guys that could maybe push more weight, but I'm going to go with Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart, notorious for, would you say, raging at LeBron James, took about both teams and coaching staffs to stop this guy from trying to attack LeBron. I think LeBron gave him a hard shove and he didn't like it. And Isaiah Stewart had to be separated a whole length of the court by his whole entire team and staff as he continuously tried to go at LeBron. LeBron just kind of stood there and watched him. But if you're going to go at the leader of the league, try to fight LeBron, I think
go for the head.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
My last one, boys. Teen Wolf.
He's a werewolf. He will bite your face off.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
He seems super nice, but how are you going to control a werewolf?
Scott Howard was his name.
Scott Howard. I got a Scott Howard jersey.
What?
You know I have a collection of fictional basketball player jerseys. This is a true story.
Teen Wolf is on my list.
Teen Wolf. That's a good one.
You don't want to fight him because of the you could fight him most days out of the month. Actually.
There's one.
There's one day.
One big one.
Yeah, where you and there in some months there's two.
Yeah.
And then that one specifically don't. So that's my answer.
Way worse.
Yeah.
So I switched my leadoff hitter and my cleanup hitters because I wanted to get old Jamie Johnson out of the way, get old Bloodsport out of the way because I knew Zay was going to steal him from me.
I never heard of him.
So now my cleanup hitter is Nikola Jokic.
Wow, I knew you were going to take it.
Not because Nikola Jokic is that tough or scary. Particularly, he seems like a big Serbian puppy dog, which everyone loves. It's his gangster ass brothers who will murder you if you mess with Nikola Jokic. He has a crazy, previously imprisoned on a lot of lists family,
correct,
who will commit all of the crimes against you.
Yeah, that is correct.
So don't mess with Nikola Jokic, not for him specifically, but his gangster brothers.
Okay, good answer.
Thank you.
Before I go, I was thinking a couple weeks ago, I was like, hats off to them, right? Because they were in the news and you wondered, is this going to be one of those stories where they're always causing issues?
Yep.
I think after this last one, maybe they do go to the games. I'm sure maybe they're in a suite, but we were discussing what Jokic would have to do to prevent this from becoming a problem. And I think whatever he did exactly what he had to do because I haven't heard about them since that incident from last year. But I'm going to go with Bill Lambier.
Oh,
okay, so
good answer.
Yeah.
Scrappy. You wouldn't think he was this tough. He's a big dude. But
he doesn't look it.
Yeah, and it's hard to even look at the history and hear about him, and you see a picture and you're like, this is the guy that was bullying Michael Jordan. Like, this is the guy that was putting a beating on MJ.
Correct.
And, yeah, it is.
Also, thanks for saying that because friend of the show Kevin also hit up the Sports Animal text line and said Bill Lambier.
Ooh, I like that one.
Also, friend of the show said Steve Blake. Was he that tough? Was he that gangster? I don't remember Steve Blake being that rough and tumble.
Now,
100% for old comment.
Nice.
You guys are telling a lot of stories here about basketball players that you're afraid to fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you a story all about how there's this guy's life who got flipped upside down.
Uh-huh.
And I'd like you to take a minute and just sit right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you how this guy became the Prince of Bel Air. Okay.
And slapped Chris Rock.
So he was in West Philadelphia where he was born and raised.
Correct.
And then on the playground, of course, is where he spent most of his days.
That's what I've heard also.
Like chilling, maxing, relaxing, all cool. And he was obviously shooting some b-ball van outside of the school.
Yep.
Well, a couple of guys who were, of course, up to no good, they started making trouble. Do you know where, Van?
Outside of school?
In his neighborhood.
Oh.
He got in one little fight, but his mom got scared. And that's when she said he was moving with his auntie and uncle in Bel Air. So that's how he became the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Will Smith. Give me Will Smith, Van.
All right, he's pretty soft. That's too soft.
Yeah.
He just fled Philadelphia for super soft California. That is a weak move. That is a weak move.
Well, he begged and pleaded with
Let your kids grow up on the streets. You want them to be tough? Or you want to put them in a mansion with Carlton
again
and Jeffrey?
He begged and pleaded with her day after day, but she packed his suitcase and sent him away. She gave him a kiss and then gave him a ticket, and he put it on his Walkman and said, I might as well kick it.
That the unheard second verse and no one knows?
For his class, this is bad. Drinking orange juice out of champagne glass. Is this what the people of Bel Air living like? Whom this might be all right. So there you go.
Friend of the show, Craig, says Kermit Washington.
George Washington's pet frog?
I think so.
Okay.
Also, we got a shout out to Matt Barnes.
Oh, yeah, Matt Barnes fights.
Yeah, he seems stabby.
That's his thing.
He seems stabby.
Yeah. The real answer is Dennis Rodman. He was a professional wrestler. Karl Malone.
So in front of people you don't want to meet in a back alley, people you don't want to tirar chingazos with, you're going to go with a guy who faked wrestled. That's your answer.
Friend of the show, Judge, says Rick Mahorn.
All right, this is an interesting
What does he want to do to your horn?
Rick it.
Now, Rick Mahorn is a throwback. He played with Philadelphia, and he was a bad dude.
If we're talking like 80s and before, like everyone would be on the current NBA list. Like everyone from the 80s and 70s and 60s and before are worse than Draymond.
I think he played with the Pistons, too. I don't think he played for Philadelphia. I think he played for the Pistons.
Detroit.
He was part of that Joe Dumars stuff. The go hard stuff.
Okay.
Who else?
Everyone on that team was tough.
Yeah. Also Shaq. Just on principle.
Yeah.
Like just by sheer gravity.
Yeah. That's a bad looking dude.
There's some story. I guess Shaq beat up Kobe one time in the locker room.
Did you know
he beat up multiple people?
Did you know if you tried to punch Dikembe Mutombo, he would block it?
Tracks.
Those are good ones, eh? When we get back from the break, how much of the show do we have left? 20 minutes?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
You can tune in to Coach Pitino at 6 o'clock, allegedly today.
Got some questions.
Is he confirmed on, Isaiah?
Yeah, he's actually currently talking.
Let's go. Can we tune into that? How does that work? Is it being
can you pipe us
recorded? I don't know
in?
how that works.
Be a bit of a rich. I know also producer Carlos Tenorio is in he's letting us know in our little chat some updates.
All right, we'll have some updates on this super weird UNM Lobo men's basketball story whenever we get back. Not the women's. They seem to be fine. They're not winning all the games, but they seem to be fine. Also, they play New Mexico State on Friday, which is a cool thing.
Yeah, so Hank was not lying. He was incorrect, I guess you could say.
KRQE did not mention the player's name because there's been no criminal charges as of yet. It's 2 Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
You can see me flexing now on no stranger.
All right, I got a report here. So this is a Twitter. It's not called Twitter, whatever it is now. This is an
Blue Sky
update.
Okay.
Elon should have made that a big. She'd made that a point when he switched it. Tell us what to call it. Don't just call it X.
So shame on all three of us last segment on our I-9 varsity that you don't want to get in a Russell tussle with. You don't want to get in a little Donnybrook. You don't want to get a little dust up.
Yeah.
None of us said Charles Oakley.
Oh, yeah, it's a bad dude.
Yeah.
He was a bad dude.
Whoopsie.
All right, so I got this here. So Gabrielle Burkhart, who I don't know, but I know of.
Yeah.
Sat down with redshirt freshman of the UNM Lobo men's basketball team, is speaking about what he says happened in the team's plane to California and an alleged violent encounter with a teammate. And the full report is coming out as we speak. The player's name is, and this is now confirmed on TV, Shane Sanchez. Is that what you guys have?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. And then the assailant has not been named because there's no criminal charges yet. And KRQE says there's going to be a reaction from Coach Pitino. So there you go. Shane claims he was, quote, sucker punched in the nose and arm and fractured his nose. There was a police report filed today. So this will become very public very quick.
Yes, it will.
You know what? I have
$5 is a big thing.
I have $5 and I can go down to 4th and Roma and get this report.
Yes, you can. And we will by 4 o'clock tomorrow. If it's not in the news already, we'll get our hands on one. But off air, which is usually the best stuff on this program, we're talking about, like, if one of your players on a team attacks another player, especially an injured player, you handle it internally. You take them to the back of the gym. You take them in the locker room and handle business. You don't strike out against your own. No. You don't hurt your own. Like, that ruins a locker room. That ruins a team.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why that's kind of what I was getting at earlier. I'm really confused. I should have said it this way. I don't know how this got out. Like, this is even take the Richie a long time ago. I wish we could have done this when this happened with the Richie Incognito situation. Even as a kid, I was confused as to how that got out. It was a long time ago. It was later than that. But I was confused as to how that got out. I'm thinking, so many things in a locker room. There's levels to this. There's players, things stay within the players. And then it goes coaches. Yeah. Then it really goes assistant coaches. And then it goes head coach. And then this has gone all the way to the Albuquerque News. So I really...
This is national, if not world news now.
If you're a teammate and you see your teammate punch a teammate who, for at least that moment, is disabled, how do you not just, like, fight that teammate?
Yeah.
How do you not do that?
Especially, there's other layers to this, too, because the young student athlete, Shane Sanchez, an Albuquerque native. From Laguna Pueblo, played at Del Norte. He's a local. He is an asset. He is a local asset that you protect at all costs. Like, this is the guy that you want coming into the game, like a redshirt freshman. This is the guy you want coming into the game when it's, you're blowing somebody out, you're getting blown out. You want him to get those good quality minutes to become a better basketball player, but instead you fight him. Like, this makes no sense to me.
And also, not to throw back too much, he says sucker punch. That is a very, very good word to use for a snake.
It's just soft. Like, it's just so soft. He's already injured.
Yeah.
If more information comes out and they had an ongoing beef and this guy said something about his grandma, blah, 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 this is going to happen for a long time. Or one of these guys is just a bully and picking on one of these guys. This is disgraceful regardless.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one of three things. It is either he's a bully to this kid because he's a redshirt freshman, which didn't shock me. I really saw that coming. He's bullying this kid. He's one of the bigger guys who kind of has like the edge over everybody on the team, so no one really tells him anything because he's just a hothead. Or, those are the only two things I can think of. Those two, not three.
It's way too early because we don't have enough data. We don't have enough information. But I don't think it's early enough to start talking race card. There is one Native person on this team. There is one Native individual on this team. And it sucks to say, it sucks to like look through those lenses right now already this early in the process, but it's going to be a factor.
Media does not care. And what I was thinking is maybe if this kid was like, I don't know if he's got a mouth on him, he's a professional.
Zay, I don't know how to break this to you. We're the media.
Well, him being a retro freshman, I wonder if he just
saying. So many people will be taking their hot takes tomorrow that they share in the office from the things we said. And if you're listening in the first hour, by the way, if you missed the first hour, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live, we're on all of those things. It's not just here on the Sports Animal, 95.9 FM, AM 610. You can go back and listen to what we said in the first hour. You can borrow a lot of jokes this evening. We had some quality jokes in the first hour about this situation if you want to make light of it. If you want to take it super serious, boy, do I have some good people at KOB and KRQE and, all the local outlets that are covering this story.
Isaiah, help me on a little production thing. Do we have one more commercial break before Lobo Talk?
No, but we can make one.
No, we don't have to. So I'm looking at this here. I just want to make sure I got this right. In a letter to UNM, the attorney for Dumas Sanchez says, quote, very serious matter involving possible felony criminal charges and, quote, complete dereliction of duty by UNM's basketball coaching staff. At the very minimum, I think suspending the player at the time so they could investigate this case would have been important to do. Contact authorities if need be. And that's what David Adams, an attorney representing Dumas Sanchez, said today. What? I mean, what? Adams and Parnell is the law office. I don't know who that is.
If without more data, without more information, I 100% agree with what the lawyer just said. Like, until we know exactly what's going on, until we can prove who's really at fault here and what happened, the person in question has to step away from the team. Because it's not only just a distraction in the locker room, it's a distraction in the news. It's a distraction because there's lawyers involved. This is not going to go away in a 24-hour, 48-hour news cycle. This is going to get crazier and crazier the more we know.
It's going to get crazier and crazier. The player, I want to make sure I got this right. Dumas Sanchez.
Yeah.
He said, quote, I mean, every team has issues, but it never gone to the point where we wanted to hit each other and hurt each other. It never gone to that point. He says it wasn't a fight. Oh my God, this is gross stuff. Ugh, okay. So he said the dispute over the airplane seat escalated to blows. He claims that they landed at palm screens and another player sucker punched him in the face, fracturing his nose, then hit him in his already injured shoulder. And here's what he said about that player playing, quote, I think they had the best interest of the team at the time, which was winning basketball games, because that's what we were there to do. Oh, God, that seems
bummer.
That seems coached.
That's a bummer. Yeah.
So he's naming the player in the interview, but KRQE is not airing the naming of the player.
Right.
Because there's no criminal charge. That gets interesting. You know who doesn't have that law is Florida. That's
Florida.
why you always hear about Florida man.
Yeah.
Because you can just do wild accusations or whatever. Ugh. I don't like this.
A season full of hope. A Lobo fan is all the way in on this year's version of the University of New Mexico Lobos basketball. A lot of promise, a lot of potential. And it is an absolute bummer. This is the way we're starting our season.
Yeah, I'm looking at this article here, which is just coming to us as we're on air. So it's taking us a second to process it. Yeah, just gross. Yeah, there you go. To me, it's if you're UNM, you got to suspend on the spot, then investigate. That's what you have to do.
Agree.
That didn't happen. That's a bummer.
I mean, usually, like you would like to say, innocent until proven guilty.
Oh, sure.
Right? Give him his time in court. Give him his time. But there are so many players just standing around, the coaching staff, the trainers, the whatever. Like both of these incidents, which if everything is truthful, there were 2 separate incidents where he was assaulted. There's got to be eyes on both of these things, and nothing happened.
And Coach Pitino said at a press conference today there's nothing he can say about it at this time. So,
right.
Yeah, don't expect.
Which is the smart move on their part.
Well, and also with an investigation.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah, you can't say anything.
And also, I mean, if you, as a player, if you step out and you put your face in the news, you are 100% like you have all the evidence that you probably feel you'd need. Yes, they have to be safe with how they do everything, with having a certain amount of information before you file and this and that. But by him going out and showing his face and letting his name be out there, he is a complete open book, and he's appearing to be very transparent.
If you're an alumni of this university, or if you attend this university, or if you're a fan of this university, like you should low-key be outraged that there weren't individuals stepping in to help protect.
Agree.
And I don't mean the brand, I mean the persons.
Not only you protect a teammate, not only do you set a precedent for your whole team that this doesn't happen in our locker room. This doesn't happen on our court. This doesn't happen on our plane. But it's a local kid. Like, all eyes are going to be on this now, not only because just this happened in general, but not only it is a native student athlete, it is a local student athlete. It just keeps adding more and more layers to this situation, which keep getting more and more awful.
Oh, I don't like any of it.
Same. And look, he might be on to something. When I say they, Shane Sanchez, who did the interview, and the outlets did not disclose the name of the alleged assailant. But if it's 2 guys at the end of the bench, Pitino's not hush-hush on this, is he? If it's 2 guys at the end of the bench, they're like, hey, look, this happened. We'll give you all the details immediately. This is what I understand. If they're being hush-hush, if this incident happened and the player was still allowed to play, this has got to be a guy who gets significant minutes. This has to be a guy who's a role player on this team at the very least.
Oh, this is unfortunate.
We see this in all of sports, right? Like, your punishment is directly indicative of your playing time, your talent, your popularity, how important you are to your team or the league, et cetera, et cetera.
So a friend of the show just sent me a screenshot of the social media for the Lobos for their next upcoming game, December the 4th for San Jose State. And the player on the advertisement.
Oh, my.
Why would they do that?
When was that posted?
Today?
Wowza.
I don't know about
Wowza.
Is that real? That can't be real.
I don't know. It could be a coincidence. Yow. Lobo talk in 4 minutes.
That'll be good.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm pulling up on their Instagram. I'm looking right at it. So if you go to the UNM Lobo men's basketball team, I believe that's this is wild.
Lobo fan, apologist out there, I hear you. Iron sharpens iron. You need a little bit you need some roadblocks to get in the way. You need a little adversity to get in the way if you want to have a better season. And here you go. Here's a plateful. Here's a cornucopia. Here is a double wide Thanksgiving plateful of drama to get past for you to be a better team later in this season.
I super need to know if the coaching staff reported it. That is like so wildly important to me right now, because it might be this one move where you've now lost me forever.
Fred Slow, you are no stranger to knowing that Lobo basketball is the #1 show in town. All eyes and ears are on this incident. We're going to know every detail very soon.
Yikes. We're wrapping it up. It's going to Lobo Talk. Stay tuned. We're tuning in the car. We promise you that. Isaiah back in the studio. Thank you for today.
Of course. Stay tuned for Lobo Talk.
Van, final words.
Oh my goodness! Opening drive with Jeff and JJ is going to be fun in the morning, isn't it?
Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.
See you tomorrow, Burke.